the Dangote Revolution, from cement king to oil emperor. In the heart of Africa, a new story unfolds. It is the story of a man whose vision for industrial dominance transformed not only his wealth but also the fortunes of an entire continent. Aliko Dangote, once the second richest man in Africa, has now climbed to the pinnacle of wealth, reclaiming his title as the continent's richest individual, thanks to a monumental achievement, his Dangote Refinery. The story begins decades ago, when a young Dangote embarked on a journey to build what is now one of Africa's largest business empires. Born into wealth in 1957, Dangote inherited not just the riches of his forefathers, but also their entrepreneurial spirit. After founding the Dangote Group in 1977, he first conquered the cement industry, and soon his company was synonymous with industrial growth across Africa. Dangote Cement became the continent's largest cement producer, capable of producing 48.6 million metric tons annually, with operations spread across 10 African countries. But for Aliko Dangote, this was only the beginning. He saw Africa's dependency on imported goods, especially refined petroleum, as an opportunity, a challenge to be overcome. The same mind that had dominated the cement industry now turned its attention to energy, and thus began one of his most ambitious projects yet, the Dangote Refinery. Construction of the Dangote Refinery started in 2016, with a vision to redefine Africa's energy landscape. Located on a sprawling 6,180-acre site in the Lekki Free Trade Zone, Lagos. This refinery is the largest single-train refinery in the world. It stands as a symbol of Dangote's unshakable resolve, a $19 billion project set to end Nigeria's dependency on imported petroleum products. This refinery is more than just an oil facility. It's a strategic piece of infrastructure that promises to transform Africa into a net exporter of refined petroleum. But this wasn't an overnight success. The project took years to complete, overcoming the complexities of infrastructure development, political shifts, and global economic tides. After nearly a decade of hard work, by 2024, the refinery was on the verge of beginning full operations. As crude oil started flowing through the world's longest subsea pipeline, the refinery geared up to meet both local and international demand. What does this mean for Africa, for Nigeria, and for Dangote himself? The impact is monumental. The refinery can produce over 650,000 barrels of crude oil per day, making Nigeria, a major oil producer, self-sufficient in refined products for the first time in history. Surplus fuel will be exported, turning Africa into a global player in the petroleum market. For Dangote, this refinery marks the culmination of his industrial vision, a vision to use Africa's raw materials, refine them, and sell them within the continent. This dream, once a distant idea, has now positioned him once again as Africa's wealthiest individual. According to Bloomberg Billionaires Index, Dangote's net worth, which was $13.4 billion as of mid-2024, surged following the successful commissioning of the refinery, surpassing that of his closest rival, South African tycoon Johan Rupert. This is a game changer for Africa, Dangote declared during the commissioning of the refinery in May 2023. My dream has always been to ensure that we use our resources, process them ourselves, and create value for our continent. Indeed, Dangote's refinery is more than just a business venture. It is a symbol of Africa's rise, a continent with untapped potential now controlling its own destiny. As Dangote's wealth grows, so too does the promise of prosperity for millions of Africans. With the refinery's capacity to reshape Africa's energy sector, new industries are emerging, jobs are being created, and Africa's role in the global economy is being redefined. Aliko Dangote, once a young entrepreneur who borrowed 500,000 naira from his uncle, is now a titan of global industry. From cement to sugar, and now oil, his influence spans continents. the Dangote Refinery stands as his crowning achievement, propelling him to reclaim his title as Africa's richest person. Africa has always been rich in resources, and now, under the stewardship of visionary leaders like Dangote, it is finally positioned to reap the benefits. The rise of Aliko Dangote, from cement magnate to oil king, signals not just personal triumph, but the dawn of a new era for Africa. This is the story of a man whose dream became a reality, not just for himself, but for the future of a continent.
Freedom Square.